In today's video, I'm going to show you a really easy way to accept crypto payments and donations in your website or React app. Accepting crypto payments can broaden your potential customer base while incurring lower transaction fees compared to traditional banking methods, especially when it comes to international transactions. You can also get your money faster and eliminate risk of chargebacks for your business. I'm going to show you how you can achieve all of this with Now Payments, who is partnering with me on today's video. In the links in the description, you can find more information about some of their most useful features, such as the ability to easily withdraw payments in fiat, which I think is incredibly convenient if you're running a business, as well as their super simple embeddable donation button that you can use in about 2 clicks, which I'll be showing you in just a moment. So let's get into the video. I have here a basic React app layout. We're going to pretend like we have a storefront and we want to be able to integrate crypto payments so that when people want to buy your product, they can pay with crypto instead of just, paying with their card or regular fiat payments. But the goal is for them to be able to do this and have it be just as easy. You want to add as little friction as possible for your customer so that if they want to pay with crypto, it's seamless and smooth, just like it would be if they were, paying a regular way. Now Payments makes this really simple and easy to do. So what we're going to focus on for this video is how to integrate this into your React app super easily. So we're not going to focus a lot on the build itself. I just have a really simple app.js file just to give us a layout here, and we're going to focus on creating a button that we can click and trigger our crypto payment workflow. So you could put this into any storefront that you have if you're, selling merchandise, or you can use this to accept recurring payments if you're selling subscriptions. There's lots of stuff that you can do with this. So check this out. If we go to the Now Payments website, we can see the different solutions that they have. Like I mentioned, you can set up donation tools, and we'll look at that in a second. They have point of sale, so you can use Now Payments to accept crypto from a brick and mortar storefront. It doesn't just have to be for an online store. You can do mass payouts. There's so many different things you can do. So I'm going to come over to the solution for Marketplace because that's the example that we're building here. I'm going to click Get Started. So the first thing we need to do is create an account, and I'm just going to go ahead and sign in with Google. So the first thing that it's going to have us do is add our crypto address in order to receive payouts. And if we click here, you can see there's a list of so many different tokens that you can accept payment in. A lot of people might pick a stable coin, something like Tether, that's pegged to the US dollar, so that you don't have to worry about the volatility of the price of the underlying token, like Ethereum in this case. I'm going to choose Tether USDC on Ethereum, and then I'm going to open up my MetaMask here and use one of my test wallet addresses. So we'll add this wallet, and that's going to take us to our Now Payments dashboard. And right here at the top where it says Get Started Now, complete a quick account setup and start accepting crypto in just 5 minutes, I'm going to click on Start Integration. You can put your company name in here, choose the industry that you're in. So I could say like Amazing Company, and we are a marketplace, and I want my base currency to be the United States dollar, but as you can see, they do have lots of different options here. So whatever your country is, you can select the currency that you want to receive payment in, and then here I'll go ahead and leave the default for the receiver to pay the withdrawal fee. Then I'm going to go ahead and click that I'm accepting the custody solution, so you can have 2-factor auth required for withdrawals and minimal transaction costs and things like that. So now anytime we get funds from our payments, they'll be collected on our custody balance, and we can convert and withdraw them at any time. Let's start accepting payments. Create first payment link. I'll just go ahead and choose Tether since that's what we kind of started with at the beginning. For now, I'm going to make our product price, we'll just say like 5 cents USD. So like when you're developing, if you want to, use a really small amount so you can send some test payments and things like that, sometimes that's nice. Order description, we'll say order from Amazing Company. And then so it looks like the current minimum payment amount for Tether on ETH is about $3. So regardless, someone would have to spend that much money anyway to be able to send a payment using Tether. So let's just change this to like $5. All right, so now we basically have an invoice for this order that we just created that can accept payments with crypto. So if we copy this link and go to it, we have this really clean looking payments page that is basically really smooth and nice and looks professional, like using Stripe or something, customized with our company name. So you could put this link, in an email to your customer for the invoice. Now they can just connect their wallet and they can just take care of the payment really easily in your desired currency. You've also got this right here in your dashboard. So you can have a list here of all of your payment links. You can search them based on the order ID and keep track of all your customer invoices in one place in your dashboard. So let's try and show an example of a customer then sending a payment to this address. So I just connected my MetaMask. And you can see it's generated a unique payment ID for us. Paid successfully, 5 USDT currently being sent to the seller. So that was super simple to do on the customer's end. Now if we go to our dashboard, we actually have some stats that we can track and take a look at. We can see our transactions down here. We can also see those if we go to payments history. For this payment link, the amount sent and received, the status of the payment, when it took place, and we can see this payment link is generating a unique payment ID for each transaction. That's important because now that we know that, we can actually embed this payment link onto our website if we wanted to. On our React app, we could just say something like, we could put a function here, right? And then in our button, we would just say for the on click, handle by click. So now, in your storefront, when your customer wants to buy your product, you can take them right to the crypto payment page. Now, obviously the problem with this, right, is that we're going to need to be able to hook into the payment action from the customer, because how else are we going to know when the payment's complete to bring them back to our storefront? So if we go back over to Now Payments, we can check out their development API, and that's going to tell us how we can actually get the payment status for a particular payment ID. So then in our front end, we would be able to listen for the payment status and do something when the status reaches a complete state. So I'll show you how we can do that in just a second. Before I show you what that would look like, there's one other thing I want to point out on the dashboard. So you'll notice we have lots of options on here in addition to our payment tools and payment history. This is where that custody feature that we activated is right here. So you can increase withdrawal limits and stuff for different wallets on your whitelist. Similarly, you can upload a CSV file of whitelisted addresses for a mass payout. This point of sale terminal link here is where you could actually create a QR code. So if you wanted to use this to accept crypto payments in your storefront in real life, like at your booth or in your brick and mortar shop, you could create that right here. Subscription, same thing. We could create a new subscription plan. Say new subscription, monthly subscription, $5 a month. And this is nice because right in the UI, you can actually customize if you have a specific success or failure page for when users click subscribe. You can just literally put the URL right inside of there. And then once you've created it, boom, now you've got a new subscription, and basically you'd be able to send invoices at specified intervals to specific customers. So you could enter a bunch of user emails and do it this way, or you can do this through the API. But importantly, and what I wanted to show really quickly, is their donations tool. So you don't even need to worry about the webhooks or the API side of things or anything like that. If you just want to be able to have a button to accept crypto donations on your website, which would be great if you have like a nonprofit organization or some kind of charity. Many, many more charities are accepting donations in crypto now. So this is a really easy way to do that. So this code would essentially create this whole little donation widget right here. Your customer can choose what currency they want to donate in, and it will just take care of everything. They also have that in a link format and then a button format as well. So if you just wanted one of these really basic little donation buttons that's like not super obtrusive on your website, you could just copy this right here and go back over to our code, and let's just throw that in there. For now, just as an example, I'll go ahead and put this underneath the buy button just so we can see it and save. And if we check out our little storefront, we have this really nice button, and you can adjust the styling and everything as you want to. And if you click this button, it's just going to take you to a separate page that's going to have this same widget where you can choose your currency and choose your donation amount. So in that case, the webhooks might not matter so much, so you can just go ahead and embed that button. It's going to do a really similar thing to what the payment link does, but it's just going to be handled as donations instead of as customers, and you don't even have to build the button. Alright, so as you can see, we've made some code changes in order to work with the Now Payments API. This way, when a customer makes a purchase, we can redirect them back to a success page and we can actually handle that purchase. We could empty out their cart, we can fire off their order information to whatever other order processing that you might have along with their name or address, so you can actually ship them their products. So the first thing that I've done here is just add a couple of routes, because the API lets us pass in a success route and a route to handle if the transaction's canceled. So I just created a couple of really basic components for success and cancel, and then added those as routes. So if we go to /success, for example, this is the page that we're going to see displayed when the payment is successfully completed. We didn't really change anything else down here in the component itself, other than obviously wrapping it in the React router so we can have these other paths. The main changes that we made in our app.js file is in the handle by click function, as you can see. So I have my Now Payments API key stored in an env file in the project. I also have a payment URL from the documentation and then a payment data object. And so in my payment data object, I've defined the product price, went ahead and went with $8 this time, defined price currency, US dollars, gave it an order ID. This you could make a dynamic value if you wanted to and generate that to be unique every time. Or, if this is like the SKU for a particular product or something, you can just add that in here. We have our success and cancel URLs, which is just the routes to both of those components that I just made. And then we have something called an IPN callback URL. And this is important because this is what's going to allow us to actually hook into the payment status event and trigger specific actions based on the payment status. So I created a server.js file in the root of the project. You would be able to handle this in your project's API. You would probably just want to create an endpoint for this. Since this isn't deployed on a separate server, I just wanted to use my local server. So I went ahead and just created a basic post endpoint in my server.js, and I'm running this on using ngrok, so I can just run this here on my local server. So there's an endpoint for this Now Payments API to ping with information. Right here is where you can handle the payment status. Once the pay button is clicked and a call is kicked off to the Now Payments API, it's going to start sending status updates to this endpoint. So you'd be able to track the status of each payment here as it's in process. And you could add anything to your code here, like I mentioned earlier, about once the payment status is complete or finished, sending off the customer information to have the order be processed in your database or wherever else you keep your customer info. So that's what this IPN callback URL is. This can still work without this, but that's just an important example that I wanted to show because likely this is something that you're going to want to be able to do in your actual app. Other than that, we just have a pretty basic fetch here, which is just calling the payment URL that Now Payments gave us in the docs with a post request that sends our API key in the headers and the payment data in the body. And that's going to programmatically generate an invoice page with the amount, the price amount that we gave it, allow our customer to make the payment, process it, send status updates to this endpoint, and then redirect us to the success URL when it's complete. Alright, so now I'm going to do a quick demo of all of this code for you in action. Let's click the buy button and we can see we get kicked over to a Now Payments invoice page, similar to the one that we created in the dashboard, but this one's been generated programmatically for us. We're using our API key so you can see our amazing company name and everything is filled in for us, and we did go ahead and update the price of our product for now to be $8. So again, we can choose any token we want. So I'll just pull up my MetaMask again. All right, transaction is complete. Now our payment is processing, and check it out. We got redirected back to the website with our payment successful screen showing up. That really wasn't so bad, and now we have a way to programmatically handle the process when our customer makes a purchase. And you'll notice you've got the unique payment ID up here in the success URL as well that gets passed in with the callback URL. So in your success page code, you could grab that ID from the URL and post that along with the other information to wherever else you might be keeping track of customer information, so you can easily pull the record that's associated with that customer for the payment in Now Payments. And now you can come over into your payments history in the dashboard, and just like the other payments that we sent to the payment link that we pasted in the browser, works the exact same way. So we have a unique payment ID, and we can see that the status is finished, so our payment went through successfully for our $8 product. And of course, don't forget, all the information on how to do this is available in the documentation. So you can test out these endpoints here in the docs. You can see all the different configuration options. Along with our payments data object, we could even add other things if we wanted to add the date or something with it, that the record was created, or other information. Basically, all the stuff you can do in the dashboard, you can do here in the API, but with a lot more customizable options, so you can use it in your own app. So you can really make your system fully functional and offer all kinds of features to your customers. So they can have the option to pay in crypto without having to have a bunch of extra headache. And you, as the business owner, get to have immediate access to your funds through crypto payments. You can just hook it into your existing workflow for your regular customers that come to your shop. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to check the links below, and feel free to leave any questions on using Now Payments in the comments, and I'll be happy to get back to everybody and help as much as I can. And with that, I'll see you soon in my next video.